India is improving its infrastructure and it's making its access to Karakum Pass much easier. That means India will be able to access G2119 from there, as well as from Galwan Valley, because if you look at Galwan Valley, G2119 is very close to the watershed of the Galwan River. And then you will be able to cut Tibet from Xinjiang in case India tried to move forward towards east and north. And you will also be able to cut the eastern route, the second route of CPAC. The G2119 also feeds into the feeder roads and makes China's control over Shasgam, Aril, Raskam, and Shimshal much stronger, much superior. So I think India makes China's presence in Xinjiang and Tibet very weak by extending its own infrastructure to Karakoram Pass. China doesn't want that to happen. So what is China doing? China is trying to intimidate India and asking it to not move forward and construct infrastructure in the eastern part of Ladakh. But at the same time, if you look at what's going on with Chinese economy and the situation with COVID-19, you will realize that there's a fracture in Communist Party, and people are not happy with the way they're dealing with the affairs, and there's dissent. So China is using attacking India or attacking Taiwan or enabling Nepal to claim India's land as a distracting tactic. And allowing people to galvanize and be more nationalistic, and this way they want to prolong their own control over their country. But the fact remains that Tibetans and Uyghurs, they do not want China to control their land anymore. So India improving its infrastructure and coming closer to Xinjiang and Tibet is seen by Chinese as strengthening dissent in Xinjiang and Tibet, giving them encouragement, giving them the boost, the moral support. So I think China is feeling threatened. It's vulnerable in a way that its economy is not improving the way it used to a few years back. COVID-19 has restricted the country in a very bad way, and at the same time the dissent in the Western autonomous region is threatening China's control. And on top of that, when India improves its infrastructure, it becomes even more threatening for China. So if you add all these aspects together, you will realize that China will try to do its utmost. It will use all options there to not enable India build infrastructure, but the fact remains that China is an occupier in Aksai Chin, in Gilgit Baltistan, and now is trying to intrude into Ladakh. By all international rules and regulations, China must withdraw from here. These are Indian territories. The people in Xinjiang, especially the Uyghur, they recognize that these are India's lands. The people in Tibet, the Tibetan government in exile recognize that these are India's lands. There's no dispute with the people of Xinjiang and people of Tibet as far as Aksai Chin, Shasgam, and other parts of Ladakh are concerned. So international community should stand with India and make China withdraw from these places.